Just over a week ago, this is what Little Rock looked like. Extreme storm damage across the area, including near Colony West and Breckenridge. Homes and businesses almost unrecognizable. But now we want to take a look at what it looks like now. After a week, much of the rubble and glass has been cleaned up, storefronts boarded up, and roofs tarped. It's all part of what will surely be a long recovery effort across central Arkansas. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Sarah Horbacewicz. Now tonight we want to focus on some of that progress in storm recovery across the state. After damage last Friday, one church in North Little Rock was able to hold their Easter service today with a roof and power. Tonight THV 11's Jalissa Garza gives us a closer look.
This is what it looks like across the street from the church at Burns Park.
We were not even able to drive here. We had to kind of work our way to get on the campus.
Buildings like this one, owned by the church just a few feet away from their main building, completely destroyed.
There were some trees on the house down to my left down here that had come through the kitchen roof and wall, and the other house that we own up above us now had an unbelievably big oak tree fall on it.
Although those buildings suffered major damage, Pastor Rick Greer says they're glad the main building is still standing.
We have very few trees left standing, but our buildings withstood everything. We're very grateful.
Damage was done to the roof, but the church acted quickly to prevent it from getting worse.
Several of our youth actually got up there and did that pretty quickly.
They, like many, were without power for days, but Saturday it came back on, allowing them to have their Easter service inside. Pastor Greer says this felt like a slight return to normalcy.
We just couldn't serve them like we wanted to without electricity. So then all of a sudden we could have food and drink and things like that.
The cleanup of debris isn't done yet. The church plans to continue helping the community rebuild and recover.
The next few days are more of what we've been doing, which is wearing out chainsaw blades and chainsaws and pushing all this, the smaller stuff to the street to be picked up.
In North Little Rock, Jalissa Garza, THV 11 News.
And as mentioned, last weekend was all about recovery and dealing with the after effects of the severe weather that we saw that past Friday. Fortunately, we've had a beautiful weekend these last couple of days for your Easter weekend. Here's a beautiful photo sent to us by Austin Freeman in Greenbrier, seeing those signs of spring, seeing more of the greenery and the flowers continuing to bloom. Overall, it was a beautiful Easter day. It was very standard spring day as well. Temperatures were around 70 degrees this afternoon. Right now we're sitting into the upper 50s with partly cloudy skies. It's relatively calm and quiet out there and will be the case going into the overnight hours. As you can see in our evening outlook, cloud cover will be increasing, and heading out the door to start off our work week and back to school will be very similar to what we saw today, partly sunny and mild. Coming up, we'll talk more about the quiet forecast we have in store and when we could see our next rain chance.
All right, thanks, Corellis. Now checking in on what you need to know when you hit the road tomorrow. This week there will be more work on I-30 in Little Rock and North Little Rock. During the day, you'll see some closures on Riverfront Drive. Starting tomorrow night, there will be double lane closures on I-30 between Roosevelt Road and I-40. There will be signs for detours from both 630 and I-40. Now, that Easter celebration we told you about around Burns Park was one of the first events in the area after the tornado. All week, city officials in North Little Rock told people to not go to Burns Park. We've seen pictures from above and video like you've seen. And tonight, Frederick Price is bringing you exclusive video from inside the park, where cleanup efforts will continue for weeks.
This park will never look the same in my lifetime.
It's a park that so many know and love.
The golf course will be full of people playing golf and frisbee golf and riding bikes.
But now Burns Park is filled with remnants of a tornado.
So right here is where it entered into the city.
Since Friday, this park has been closed. And you can see why. It's just not a safe place to be right now, Captain Dustin Free with the North Little Rock Fire Department tells me.
It is becoming an area to house all the work that needs to take place.
We rode along with Captain Free. THV 11 is the only TV crew the city has allowed in to show you the destruction.
The baseball field where the North Little Rock High School baseball team plays. It's been destroyed. It's not usable.
Even more heartbreaking, Funland, which just opened 2 new rides one day before the tornado, is also destroyed. All the rides will have to be replaced.
This is one of the many dumping sites here in Burns Park of the debris that has been left over by this tornado. Crews are now separating the mangled metal, tree limbs, and even mattresses that you see.
That debris will be taken from this park to somewhere where it can properly be disposed of.
The equipment has been rolling not only in the neighborhoods but also in the park.
In just a week, cleanup crews have made so much progress with clearing debris from roads and bike trails, but Captain Free isn't quite sure when the park will reopen. Fortunately, things like the covered bridge are still intact. The community, as you can imagine, is stunned, but they aren't letting this storm stop them from rebuilding.
It's not going to look the same. It's going to have a totally different face to it, and we can't change that, but we can try to go forward and try to make it a better park.
In North Little Rock, Frederick Price, THV 11 News.
Captain Free estimates that about 10,000 trees are uprooted throughout Burns Park. And tonight we have new news for you that search crews have located the bodies of the missing kayakers that went missing on Beaver Lake on March 16th. The Benton County Sheriff's Office confirmed that after 24 days of searching, the bodies of both Charles Morris IV and his son, Charles Morris V, have been recovered. Officials say search and rescue teams were able to use their underwater ROV in a challenging environment that exceeded depths of 180 feet. The family put out a statement thanking everyone involved to help recover the 2 missing men. Staying in northwest Arkansas, the Springdale Fire Department was dispatched to a commercial structure fire on East Robinson Avenue. When crews arrived, they reported 2 buildings on fire and called the Fayetteville Fire Department for assistance. According to Captain Pinkley, it took over an hour to put that fire out, and the cause is still under investigation. This weekend, people gathered in Nashville to march for gun control. This march was the latest of several in the aftermath of the deadly shooting at the Covenant School. Many of the people at the rally were students, saying that increased gun control will lead to better safety beyond just in schools.
It's not just school shootings, it's shootings, mass shootings everywhere. No matter if it's a mass shooting or even just a murder, I mean, the gun issue in this country is ridiculous at this point. Something has to be done, and that's why we're here today.
Fighting for tougher gun control laws, the teens encourage everyone to head to the polls because they believe it's the only true way to make change happen.
It doesn't really help get rid of the fear of living in our schools, but knowing we're doing something to change it helps us a little bit as far as coping with that fear and making sure that we're actually doing something to prevent the next group of students from feeling the same way that we do.
Around 100 people walked from Public Square Park to the Capitol. And the 2 Democratic lawmakers who were expelled from their seats in Tennessee for urging the passage of gun control are working to be reappointed. They say they want to be reappointed and then elected back into their seats. Nashville's Metro Council says they're likely to reappoint Justin Jones to his seat. Shelby County hasn't announced whether their plans with Justin Pearson's now vacant seat. Politicians on both sides are reacting to the rulings on the abortion pill, mifepristone. Democrats are vowing to fight restrictions, while some Republicans are urging caution about how far the party should go when it comes to the issue. Christiane Benavidez reports.
Hand off the abortion pill!
The political fallout of those dueling rulings on the abortion pill mifepristone is coming into focus as Democrats vow to fight restrictions. Some, like New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, calling for the FDA to ignore the ruling by Texas federal judge Matthew Kacsmaryk that would invalidate the drug's FDA approval.
This ruling is an extreme abuse of power.
It's something the Secretary of Health and Human Services said was not out of the question.
Everything is on the table. The president said that way back when the Dobbs decision came out.
A counter ruling by Washington State federal judge Thomas Rice blocked the FDA from making any changes to mifepristone's availability in 17 Democrat-led states and Washington, D.C. that sued to expand access.
So it inherently creates what we call a circuit split, which kind of means it has to go to the Supreme Court.
On the heels of the Texas ruling, Iowa's Republican Attorney General has halted a state practice of paying for abortions or emergency contraception for rape victims. Still, some Republicans, like South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, are urging the GOP to take a more measured approach.
We can win this issue at the ballot box if we show up with reasonable positions. If we have our head in the sand, we're going to lose.
In what was largely seen as a referendum on abortion, on Tuesday, Wisconsin voters elected by double digits a liberal candidate to the state Supreme Court, flipping majority control from conservatives, which will likely lead to an end to the state's abortion ban. Cristian Benavides, CBS News.
The Biden administration has already appealed the Texas ruling on mifepristone, which is not set to take effect until Friday. We still have more headlines coming up tonight. After Easter Sunday, we'll hear from a church about the special service they held today. Plus, after we saw the tornado just over a week ago, Arkansans are extending a helping hand. We'll show you how neighbors are doing what they can to help after the break. But first, Corrales, what do we got going forward in the forecast?
Yeah, I mean, this quiet weekend was definitely much needed. Fortunately, we're going to continue this quiet stretch of weather for the next several days. We'll have a look at your forecast into the new week and what we can expect just ahead.